Hello fellow woodworkers, welcome to this week's edition of the Garage Workshop 10-minute tool review. And this week we're going to be unwrapping the mystery of this digital laser measuring meter. Roll the intro. So fellow woodworkers, if you saw my recent blog for the month of September, I'll put a link in the description. I mentioned this product which I had been sent. So full disclosure for this video, this is a product that I got sent by a company that reached out to me saying, would you do a review of our product and put it on your channel? So I said, well, let me have a look at the product, send it to me, and then we'll make a decision. They sent it to me, and they then sent a follow-up email which not only explained the instructions a bit more, but also gave me a link for it's a sort of affiliate link, I think, it's a money off coupon for you as subscribers. So they sent me the product, but in the last email they put in a rather weird comment where they said they were happy for me to name the product and name where you could purchase it, on the understanding that I would only do that if I liked the product. If I did a product review and it wasn't a positive product review, they didn't want their name or the product associated with it, which might be the way that things happen in YouTube land, I don't know. But for me, that seemed a bit weird. So it sparked my investigative side a little bit. So I have done some research on this product. Now, I was very surprised to hear or to see when I researched it that this is a product that's quite mainstream. You can buy it on Amazon, and it actually retails at a little bit over £59. So it's not a cheap unit by any means. When I read the reviews, I think it's got 4.4 out of 5 at the moment. And when I read all of the reviews, it's got a really, really positive response. Now, with all of these things, and certainly with all the products on Amazon, you do have to bear in mind that, you know, not all of the reviews are always 100%. You know, sometimes people get paid to do reviews, and sometimes the products that reviews aren't always the exact model. But having a look at the features on this model, I am quite surprised at what it's got in it. There's lots and lots of features that generally are in much more expensive digital laser meters than this one. So what I thought we'd do in this video is have a look at it, see what's in the box, have a look at some of the points before I start using it that are its main selling points, its KPIs if you like, and then we're going to run it up against this, which is my bog standard bog standard Parkside distance measure. So we'll run the two sort of head to head, but this one I know is obviously much more feature rich than this one. So we'll have a look at the build quality, and then we'll have a look at the digital accuracy, and then I'll make my decision on whether it's worth naming this company and putting in the link for the affiliate link they gave me. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so if we go for the unboxing, to be honest with you, I haven't actually opened the product yet. I did go to open it, and I got distracted, as is quite common with me. I don't even know if the tabs are cut off. They're not. So it came literally just like this in a sort of bubble envelope, and there's the product on the inside wrapped up. It actually looks quite well made, to be fair. Let's take it out of the wrapper. So there's the product up close. I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised at the build quality. It's got lasers on both ends as well. It's sort of dual end. I think they describe that. I think that's called bilateral, but it's actually quite a nice unit. I'm surprised. It's sort of hardened rubber on the inside, on the outside. The sort of black bits are hardened rubber, and then solid plastic. So that's the actual unit. Let's have a look at what else is in the box. You get a nice carry case to put it in. and inside the carry case is the handle, the sort of cable handle, and a USB-C type connector. Now, the reason it's got a USB-C type of connector is it's not a battery unit. You actually charge the device with USB-C, so no fiddling around with batteries that come, you need to change every now and then. And if it does run dry, then obviously you just put it on, whack it back on charge for a little bit. And we've got the standard set of instructions. It's quite a nice book, actually, with lots of explanations of how things work. We'll talk about that a little bit in a minute when we look at some of the features of it. But that, all in all, that's everything that you get inside the box. So the other thing is, I think I do need to check on the box. There is a QR code, or a code that you can scan, and it says to scan here for the transparency app. So I'll also do that, and we'll have a little look at what that app is. But first impressions out of the box, it's a much nicer build quality than I expected. I'm not going to lie. And obviously, having such a high retail price, you would expect it to be quite nice. But let's get it up and running and see what it looks like. Okay, so I've just unpacked the laser measurer, and I thought I'd need to give it a little bit of a charge before we can test it. But I've just put it in, put it on to test, and it's just over half charged already. So I'm presuming it means it came from the factory fully charged. To charge it, you just take out the little wooden, rubber door on the side and pop it in. I do have to say, taking that little sort of rubbery door back was really, really difficult. I mean, I've got big fingers anyway, but that was actually really challenging. I had to use the end of the Stanley knife in the end to get the door open to give it a charge. But it does say also in the instructions that by default it comes on as double measurement mode. So basically what you can do is, if you've got 2 points, you place it in the middle, and the laser coming out of the front and the back will give you an accurate measurement. You can turn it into single measurement mode, which I'll do in a minute. But overall, in terms of the battery, I'm not sure if it's common for this. Obviously, my other laser measurer, my Parkside one, is just a battery operated one. And to be fair, this one is really accurate. And I know it's accurate because a few times when I've measured with it, I've followed up with measuring with a tape measure, and it's been absolutely spot on. Obviously, it's a bit more accurate than a tape measure. So I'll be interested to see how the two of these compare. Now, this unit has got a 1000 amp hour battery in it, and it says it's good for 3000 measurements before you have to recharge the battery. I'm not so sure about that, but let's switch it on and see. Hopefully you can see that coming on, and by default it's at 0, and it is throwing a laser sort of up and down as I'm talking, which you definitely won't be able to see. But the other thing I will just point out is it's got an angle, a built-in angle grade. I'm sure you won't see that. I'll try and give you a close-up of this, but basically as you tilt this, it tells you what angle you're tilting it on. So it's actually got sort of a digital angle measuring it, as well as being a laser measure. I mean, it is very feature heavy, this, I have to be honest. It's probably a lot more than I would ever use, but certainly if you're a tradesman, then you might get a lot more use out of it. You can easily change the unit. At the moment, by default, it's set to meters just by clicking that button. You can also change the orientation of the screen. It is a full color screen by just moving that around, and as you can see, hopefully you saw that it went all round in a clockwise sort of direction. And this button here is how you change the laser position. So what I'm going to do now is just set it up with a couple of pieces of wood, and then we'll test the ability of the laser to record. Okay, so I've just been looking at it, and I'm getting more and more impressed with this as I'm using it, I have to be honest. So I thought, actually, before I set the wood up, I just want to see the up and down measurement. Now I've got the workbench and the ceiling. Let's just give it a go. Okay, the light's engaged. I've got a light on the top and the bottom. Hopefully you can see that, and we'll give it a measure. So it's given me a measurement of 0.794 meters. So to clear it, you can just press that at the bottom. So hopefully you could see that. It's given me a measure of 1.388 meters, but interestingly, from where I held the laser at the top, it's shown that above the laser was 0.814 and below was 0.574. So quite clever that it's actually worked out the distance above and the distance below, split it, and obviously taken into account the actual size and composition of the unit. So quite impressed with that, I have to be honest. So what we'll do now, I'll set it up, 2 pieces of wood. I'll measure the pieces of wood with a tape measure so that I know that they're exactly accurate, and then we'll compare it to the Parkside one. Okay, so I've got these two set up now, and these 2 pieces of wood are exactly 80 centimeters apart. I've just measured and checked with my tape measure, so they're, you know, about 31.5 inches or 80 centimeters apart. So first of all, I'm going to try it with my Parkside one, and let's see what reading this gives us. So I think you can see that it's given us 80.2 centimeters. So hopefully you can see that it's given us 80.2 centimeters. Let's try it with the new one. And obviously I'm going to ignore the sort of in and out. Let's just try it. Okay, so it's given us 81.7 centimeters. So that's 1.7 centimeters out. So let me just check that these haven't shifted, this piece of wood. No, it's exactly 80. So 1.7 centimeters out, which is a bit of a worry because it's not like it was 0.7. Okay, so after a bit of a kerfuffle, I have now got it in single measurement mode. So let's take that measurement again and see if we get a more accurate reading. Okay, so we have got a better reading. It's 0.804 or 80.4. So closer to this, but still quite a gap. To be honest, for a unit that's a lot more expensive, I would have quite frankly expected a more accurate measurement. So what I'm going to do now is just measure the floor to height in the garage with it, and then I'll do the same with my other one to get a better comparison and see if it works better in this way. I mean, I do like the feature of the angle, and I'm thinking, when would that actually be of any use? So let's do a floor to ceiling measurement and see if that makes any difference. Okay, first of all, I'm going to use my Parkside. And what I'm going to do is put the case next to it so I know I get the other one in exactly the same place. Okay, let's do a reading with this one. Okay, so I've got a reading of 2.237 meters from floor to ceiling. The reason it's beeping, by the way, in case you can hear it, is just because it's telling me the battery's low. Let's try this one. Okay, so I'm going to measure them side by side. I've got 2.234 meters from that one. Let's try the other one next to it. So I've got 2.235. Hopefully you can see those values. So much closer there and a lot more sort of in line. So I'm now going to measure to another fixed point and see. First we'll do it in single mode and then we'll do it in joint mode and see what the difference is. Okay, so I've got the two units side by side and I'm going to measure the distance to my fridge over there, which will be an interesting test because the fridge is obviously made of brushed aluminium, so it'll be a good test of how good the light is. So I'm going to first of all read with the park side, and it's given me 2.135 meters. Interesting. So I've now got 2.02 meters against 2.135, which again is actually quite a difference. They were side by side, which wouldn't have made a massive difference because the lights were pointed at the same part on there. So again, not massively accurate from this measurer compared to, and bearing in mind, this Parkside one was dirt cheap. It was like over half the price of this one. So I'm going to do that same measure now, but I'd just be interesting to see if I put this into 2 laser mode, whether I get a difference. Okay, it's in 2 laser mode. Let's measure it now. Okay, so I've got yet another reading. This time I've got 2.150 and I've got 2.135 on mine. So that is quite a difference. So what I'm going to do now is actually get my tape measure and measure the distance and see what it gives me. So I've just done that same measurement with my tape measure, and I knew exactly where to measure it to because I'd left a little pack of post-it notes on the table, so I knew where the position of the laser was. And with my good old-fashioned tape measure, I got 2.135, exactly 84 inches, I think it was. And this was 2.150. My Parkside one was 2.135. So that matches exactly with my tape measure, but again, doesn't match with this. Now, it was more accurate when I measured sort of from both sides. But even so, the whole point of a digital tape measure or a laser measure meter like this is that you get accurate measurements. And you've just seen from the few tests that I've done that we haven't managed to have that. And yes, it's got a ton of features. It's great that you can recharge it. It's great that you can do the top and bottom metering. But at the end of the day, it's got to be accurate. And I'm going to be honest, not that massively impressed. One thing I will say about it is the brightness of the laser is way above this. Now, this might, I mean, I haven't changed the batteries in this, it could be that, but there is a much stronger, brighter laser that comes out of this one on both sides. And it's absolutely packed with features. It has got great build quality, but you buy it to measure, do you not? Okay, so in conclusion, what do I think? Well, I have to be honest, my conclusion on this product is a bit sort of in the middle. I'm really sorry, folks, but for the price, and I have had a look around, for the price, you get a ton of really good features in it. You get the bilateral, it can work out area, it can work out capacity, it's got a Pythagoras's measurement on it so that when you angle it up, and obviously you know what the angle is. You can measure the angle to a building. It has got every sort of feature that you would want. So for the money, from that point of view, I have to say that it constitutes a really good investment because it has got a lot of features, very feature rich. I can't get over the fact that the measurements from it do not equate to the measurements from my Parkside one, which was literally under half the price. Now, if you are the sort of person that would need the features of this, then I'm going to say that it might well be worth you investing in it. I mean, £59 is a lot of money to spend on a laser measurer, in my opinion. If, like me, you're only going to make occasional measurements or longer measurements that you're going to need a measurer for, then something like this, an entry-level one for me, I think is going to be much, much better for you. So a bit of a hung jury in terms of it. Yes, it's got a lot of features. It's got good reviews. A lot of people seem to like it. But for me, the most important thing is accuracy. I have proved, even through my little bits of testing here, it's not as accurate as this and it's not as accurate as my tape measure. So at the end of the day, for me, that is a bit of a deal breaker. So I wouldn't be recommending buying it, and sorry to the company who sent it to me. I will be sending it back to them. I wouldn't recommend buying. It's not something that I could recommend buying because its fundamental accuracy for me was a problem. If you do want to buy it though, I'm going to put the code that they gave me on the screen now, along with a link to the product. You can get it from Amazon. I think it is an affiliate link. They haven't said if they're going to send me any money or anything like that. And again, you know, I did tell them this was going to be an on this review, and if I didn't like the product, I was going to tell you. I don't like it that much, and I am telling you that. So up to you if you decide to buy one. And I think the code is good for all over the world. So if you're watching in America, Australia, or one of the other countries around the world where I've luckily got subscribers, then that code should still work. And just a reminder as well, don't forget my Evolution code, which is also a link in the description. So overall, not massively impressed for its fundamental feature, which is the ability to measure accurately. For me, it sort of falls down a bit on that. Thank you so much for watching this week's edition of the Garage Workshop 10-minute tour review. If this is your first time at the channel, please can I ask you to subscribe, like and comment. If you're a regular viewer, can I also ask you to like and comment? It means a lot to the algorithm. The channel is continuing to grow really well because of your support, and I can't say a big enough thank you. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I'll catch you on next week's edition of the Garage Workshop. Take care, fellow woodworkers.